Sagittarius. Something strange is following you. It scared me, but it will bring success. Sagittarius, have you ever sensed something unusual around you? An invisible force, a presence you couldn't quite explain, a feeling that you were being watched, but not by anything threatening? Instead, something quiet, warm, and strangely familiar? In 2025, the strange energy you've been sensing is not a shadow to fear. It's a hidden blessing approaching, a silent guardian walking beside you, and it is about to bring profound success into your life. You, Sagittarius, have always been the seeker, the one whose heart listens not only to what is seen but to what is felt deep within. Your intuition, sharpened by countless soul journeys, knows that what seems strange or unsettling at first often hides the greatest gifts. The uneasiness you've carried recently isn't a warning of doom. It's the universe stirring your spirit, preparing you for a breakthrough you can no longer delay. If your heart trembles as you hear this, if some part of you whispers, "I have felt this," then trust it. Trust the signs, the sudden quiet in your soul, the moments when you feel held without reason, the invisible hands lifting you when no one else can see you struggling. These are not coincidences. They are preparations. If you're ready to understand the true nature of what's been following you, if you're ready to step into the success that's quietly making its way toward your open hands, then stay with me. And if your spirit is ready to walk deeper into the unseen, to listen more closely to what your soul has always known, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe, not for me, but for yourself, so that week by week you continue to grow, to remember, and to live as the light you truly are. Let's begin, Sagittarius. Gate 1. The presence beside you, a hidden guardian. Sagittarius, you have always lived with one foot in the tangible world and one foot in the realm of dreams. Your soul was born curious, restless, hungry for meaning beyond what the eyes can see. That's why when something unseen brushes against your spirit, you don't dismiss it like others might. Deep down you know the truth. Not all that is real can be touched, and not all that is powerful can be explained. In 2025, the feeling you've been carrying, the strange sense of being watched, the invisible comfort in your loneliest moments, is not paranoia. It's a sacred presence. Someone you loved, someone who once walked this earth beside you, is still here. Not to control you, not to haunt you, but to walk with you silently until you are ready to claim the success, the peace, the life you were always meant to live. There are moments when you sit alone, lost in thought, and a quiet warmth wraps around you. There are dreams so vivid they linger in your heart long after you wake. There are songs, scents, memories that drift into your life at the perfect moment, reminding you of someone you thought you lost. Sagittarius, you have not lost them. Their body may have returned to the stars, but their love never left you. It only changed form. I once knew a Sagittarius who, after her mother's passing, would often find herself smiling at nothing, feeling a hand on her shoulder when she was about to give up. She would hear her mother's favorite song playing in the grocery store when she most needed comfort. These signs were not random. They were love still alive, still walking beside her. And you, Sagittarius, you are not an exception. You are being guided, protected, supported, quietly, patiently, by a soul who loved you enough to stay, even without a body to hold you. But why now? Why in 2025 does this presence grow stronger? Because your spirit has matured. You've suffered enough to know what truly matters. You've endured enough to recognize the difference between illusion and truth. And most importantly, you've softened enough to listen. Not with your ears, but with your heart. There is a reason this invisible companion doesn't announce themselves with thunder or lightning. They come in the gentlest ways because they trust you. They trust that your spirit, forged by fire and freedom, will know how to receive them without fear. And here's the beautiful paradox. What once scared you, the feeling of something strange following you, is actually a promise. A promise that you are no longer walking alone. A promise that everything you have silently prayed for, everything you have tirelessly worked toward, is being woven together behind the scenes. Sagittarius, you were never meant to carry the weight of your dreams alone. And now, at this pivotal moment, you are being reminded that the universe has always been conspiring in your favor. That what seems eerie is, in truth, sacred. So the next time you feel that strange chill, that sudden rush of warmth, that inexplicable tear welling up at the corner of your eye, pause. Smile. Whisper a thank you. Because you are seen. You are held. and you are closer than ever to the life your soul has been aching to step into. This is the first gate you cross in 2025. The acceptance that you are not alone. The realization that the strange, tender force around you is not something to fear, but something to welcome. A hidden guardian, a sacred promise, a bridge between your deepest longing and your highest destiny. Welcome them, Sagittarius. Welcome the unseen love that has followed you through every valley, through every dark night, and now into the dawn of your new life. Gate 2, the power of silent prayers. Opening the door to success. Sagittarius, you have a heart that has always prayed quietly. For yourself, yes, but even more often for others. In a world that values loud declarations and bold ambitions, your spirit has moved differently. You have whispered wishes into the night not because you sought attention, but because you trusted that the universe hears what is sincere, not what is shouted. In 2025, those silent prayers, those unseen acts of love and faith, are finally returning to you as blessings. Success is drawing near, not because you demanded it, but because you were willing to wait, to believe even when nothing visible gave you reason to hope. Perhaps you remember the countless nights you stayed awake, heart heavy but still steady, sending silent hopes for a loved one's peace, for a friend's healing, for a stranger's unseen struggle. You may have thought your prayers were small, unnoticed, perhaps even futile. But Sagittarius, the universe records everything spoken by a heart as pure as yours. And nothing given in love is ever wasted. This year, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, generosity, and divine reward, casts a bright light upon your path. Not to reward flashy efforts or fleeting intentions, but to honor the quiet, persistent faith you have carried through storm after storm. Opportunities will begin to appear, seemingly out of nowhere. Doors you thought were closed will creak open with surprising ease. Connections you believed were lost will resurface, stronger and more genuine. But this success will not crash into your life like a hurricane. It will arrive like a sunrise, subtle, steady, undeniable. An email at the perfect time. A conversation that shifts your entire trajectory. A chance that feels both breathtaking and natural, as if the universe has been orchestrating it all along, and it has. I once knew a Sagittarius woman who spent years quietly supporting others, asking little for herself. She often doubted whether her kindness mattered. One day, seemingly by accident, she was introduced to someone who would change her career, her friendships, and even her sense of purpose. When she asked why it happened, all I could tell her was this: the universe never forgets a soul that gives from the heart. And so, Sagittarius, neither has the universe forgotten you. But here is the most important truth: to fully receive the blessings approaching you, you must allow yourself to believe you are worthy of them. You must stop questioning whether success is meant for you. You must stop doubting whether joy is something you are allowed to have. Too often, you have stood at the edges of your own dreams, cheering others forward while wondering if you were meant to remain in the shadows. In 2025, that story changes. You are no longer the background character in someone else's story. You are stepping into the center of your own. This will not require you to become arrogant or selfish. That is not your way. It will require you to honor your own prayers with the same reverence you have always offered to others. It will require you to say with quiet confidence, "I am ready. I am worthy. I accept." You may feel moments of doubt. You may hear the old voices whisper, "Who am I to succeed? Who am I to be happy?" When that happens, remember this: you are the one who never stopped believing when it would have been easier to give up. You are the one who kept the light alive in the dark. You are the one whose spirit has been prepared not by ease, but by endurance. And now, Sagittarius, you are the one being called to rise. Not because you demanded the stage, but because your soul has earned it. This is the second gate you cross in 2025. The acceptance that your silent prayers were never in vain. The realization that your hope was not foolish. The understanding that what you have longed for is not only possible but inevitable, if you open your heart to receive it. Success is not approaching you with chaos. It is approaching with love, with precision, with the quiet certainty of a promise fulfilled. Trust it. Receive it. Step into the life that has been waiting for you all along. Gate 3, letting go of the old. Making space for the new. Sagittarius, freedom has always been your soul's most sacred calling. But even the freest spirit can sometimes cling to old anchors, not because they are right, but because they are familiar. In 2025, you are being called to do something both beautiful and brave, to release what no longer serves you, so you can fully embrace the life waiting on the other side. There is a heavy truth few dare to face. Sometimes the things we hold on to most tightly are the very things preventing our growth. The job that once gave you purpose now feels like a cage. The relationship that once steadied you now weighs down your wings. The dreams you once fought for now no longer fit who you are becoming. It's not failure to outgrow them, Sagittarius. It's evolution. The universe, through the unpredictable hand of Uranus, the planet of sudden shifts and soul awakenings, is already moving in your life. If you feel things breaking apart, if old structures are crumbling no matter how tightly you try to hold them together, know this: it is not punishment. It is liberation disguised as chaos. I once spoke with a Sagittarius man who lost his job and a long-term relationship within the same month. For a while he felt cursed, abandoned by the very forces he once trusted. But in the quiet space left behind, he discovered a forgotten dream, a passion for writing he had buried years before under the weight of being responsible. Within a year, he had rebuilt a life not only closer to his heart but truer to his soul. Sagittarius, what feels like loss now is clearing space for something much greater. But to receive it, you must let go with open hands. You must trust that letting go is not a defeat, but an invitation. Release the need to cling to what no longer lights you up. Release the guilt over outgrowing situations or people who were once perfect for you but no longer are. Release the belief that you must struggle to prove your worth. Struggle is not your home. Freedom is. This gate will test your trust, not just in the universe but in yourself. Can you trust that what is leaving your life is making way for what your soul has been calling toward you for years? Can you believe that your path forward requires you to travel lighter, to shed the old skins of fear, obligation, and outdated dreams? It won't always be easy. There will be moments when nostalgia tugs at your heart, when the empty spaces left behind feel unbearable. You may question whether you made a mistake. You may be tempted to run back to the familiar, even if it no longer fits. When that happens, remember this: familiar does not mean right. Comfortable does not mean true. You deserve a life that is not just tolerable, but exhilarating. A life where your spirit feels not contained but expanded. And here is the deeper truth. Every time you let go of something that no longer serves you, you send a powerful signal to the universe. You say, I trust. I am ready. I choose growth over fear. I choose my future over my past. That signal echoes across realms you cannot see. It calls opportunities, allies, and blessings into your life that would never have found you if you had stayed chained to the old. Sagittarius, this is your moment. The door is open. The light is spilling through. The only thing left is to step forward, not dragging the weight of yesterday behind you, but carrying only the wisdom it gave you. This is the third gate you cross in 2025. The sacred release. The courageous choice to travel lighter. The powerful act of trusting that what you truly desire is already on its way, and that to receive it, you need only be free. Let go, Sagittarius. Not because you have to, but because you are finally ready to. Conclusion: the arrival of light after the long journey. Sagittarius, if you have walked with me through these gates, then you already know. The strange presence you once feared was never your enemy. It was your future, your freedom, your higher self preparing you for the life you are destined to live. You were never meant to carry the old weight forever. You were never meant to stand on the sidelines of your own dreams. You were born to move, to seek, to expand, and most of all, to trust that even in the darkest moments, the universe was still gently guiding you toward the light. In 2025, that light finally becomes visible. No longer a distant promise, no longer a vague hope, but a living reality. The opportunities arriving are not random. They are answers to prayers you whispered long ago. Answers you may have thought were lost in the wind but were always being heard. The guardian beside you, the silent presence that followed you through nights of confusion and days of hidden longing, did not come to scare you. They came to strengthen you. They came to remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not alone. Now, Sagittarius, your only task is to say yes. Yes to the blessings arriving quietly. Yes to the freedom you've yearned for. Yes to the version of yourself that no longer apologizes for dreaming bigger, loving deeper, and living truer. If these words resonate in your heart, if some quiet part of you feels ready, truly ready, To step into the life you have been preparing for, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Not for me, but for yourself, so that each week, you continue to receive reminders of the magnificent journey you are still unfolding. Remember this, Sagittarius. You are not being chased by shadows. You are being guided by love. And now finally it is your time to receive.